Hello, this is Kirk from livingfield.com. I'd like to welcome you to our online learning academy, where today we're going to discuss Cattail, nature's grocery store. The botanical name of Cattail is Typha. Here are a few pictures. Now, some of the common names of cattail are cat o' nine-tail, punks, and corndog grass. This plant is native all across the United States. It is a member of the Typhaceae, the cattail family. It is a perennial aquatic plant, meaning that it grows every year from the same rhizome stalks. It will grow anywhere from 3 to 12 feet high, although usually you're going to find it in the 5 or 6 foot height range. The long, pale green, tape-like, lance-shaped leaves wrap tightly around and sheath the stalk toward its base. This often extends below the water surface. This plant sends up a single, erect stem which terminates in a cigar-shaped flower spike. It grows from a spreading rhizome. It flowers in early summer. This plant is monoecious, which means that it has both male and female parts. The male part of the flower grows above the female part. It either self-pollinates via gravity or cross-pollinates via the wind. In this picture, you can see the narrow, smooth, green female portion of the flower and the puffy, rough-looking male part of the flower. After pollination occurs, the male part of the plant withers and dies. The female part then turns brown as it ripens. In autumn, the ripe flower spikes burst forth with a mass of fluffy, cottony-like seeds. Look for cattails along the margins of shallow marshes, streams, ponds, and lakes. Some species even prefer brackish water. There are two main species of Typha in the United States: Typha augustifolia, or narrowleaf cattail, and Typha latifolia, broadleaf cattail. These species can be used interchangeably. The parts used are the stems, when they first come up in the spring until the flower stalk appears. You can peel the outer leaves away from the inner stem, grab the stem and pull it firmly, and it will separate from the rhizome. This can be eaten just as it is, as a trail nibble. It can be chopped up and added to salads. It can also be used as a cooked vegetable. My favorite way to eat it is just right from the stalk. You start eating it, and when you get up to an area where it starts to become more fibrous, you peel a couple of more outer leaves off, and the tender inner shoot can be eaten quite a ways up. Now, after the flower spike appears, the female section of the plant can be cut off. It can be cooked, boiled for a few minutes, and it tastes similar to corn on the cob. Now, before pollination occurs, you can gather the pollen from the male section, from the male top section of the plant. All you do is take a bag, you gently bend over the flower because you don't want to kill the flower, and you shake it off. It will deposit a bunch of golden pollen. You have to be careful, though, to keep this out of the wind, because it is so fine and powdery that the wind will catch it and blow it all away quite easily. I tend to be a little bit greedy when I'm trying to pick this, and I typically will lose my harvest. This is what the male section of the flower looks like when it's been removed from the plant. You can eat the entire part. The horizontal rhizome is at the base of the stem. You can see this section that's all covered in dirt and mud and has the roots coming out of it, that is the rhizome. All you would need to do is rinse away the mud, scrape clear all of the excess roots, and then you can pound this stock in a little bit of, or the root stock in some water, and it'll create it'll release a cloudy white mixture into the water. You keep pounding it until it's all pretty much broken up. Then you strain out the fibrous parts and let the water settle. Once the water's settled, you pour off the clear water on the top and you leave the milky white substance in the bottom. This can be poured into a large cookie sheet and placed in the sun where the water will evaporate and it will leave a hard, crusty, white substance. You take that, pry it off, scrape it off of the cookie sheet, put it into a food processor, break it up, and turn it into a flour. To this flour, you can then add yeast, water, salt, and sugar, mix it up into a bread dough, and because the flour does contain glutens, it will rise without any other commercially prepared flour. Also, you'll see in this picture, you have these white horn-like hooks that are growing at the base of the stem and coming from the rhizome. These are called corms. This is the part from where next year's stalk will grow. These are absolutely delicious. They're my favorite part of the plant to eat. When you remove them, clean them up, they taste reminiscent of cucumber, but with the texture and snap of a radish. They are absolutely delicious. Like I said, they're my absolute favorite part of this plant. The leaves can also be woven and used as thatching. You can use it to weave mats. You can weave yourself like a ring type hat to keep the sun off of your face. And then the dried flower heads can be used as tinder. What you would do is harvest the brown cigar shape, and break it all up. It releases the seeds. It becomes this cottony, fluffy mixture that readily takes a spark, and you can blow it into flame. You can also use this if you need to transfer your fire from one place to another. This is where the common name punks comes in. If you cut the stalk, leave a couple foot of the stalk, and then cut the male section off the top, and you put the tip of the flower stalk into a fire, it will start burning, and you blow out the flame, and then you just let it kind of smolder. And then you can use this, you just carry it along while you're walking, and when you're going to build another fire, you take this punk, you put it into your tinder, blow it back into flame, and you have your fire. As you can see, cattails are an extremely useful plant. They are literally the closest thing that you would find to a grocery store in the natural world. They're a nutritious form of carbohydrate. They're good sources of beta-carotene, niacin, phosphorus, potassium, riboflavin, thiamine, and vitamin C. Aside from the obvious vitamins and minerals, there are no known medicinal uses for cattail. Blue flag is the only toxic look-alike for the cattails or the Typha species. Only the youngest cattail shoots bear any even superficial resemblance to blue flag. Cattail leaves, as we discussed earlier, grow around the central stem. They clasp it for a good ways up before they separate, while blue flag or the water iris does not. It actually, the leaves, the flower stem, all grow and emanate out from the same central point. And then blue flag only gets to be maybe 2 feet in height, while cattail can grow up to 12 feet. Typha has no drug interactions. The Typha species are absolutely delicious wild foods. They're definitely worth your time. You can live comfortably just eating from cattails. I hope you get out into the natural world and harvest some for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this course. If so, please try one of our other online courses. You might also be interested in one of our guided plant walks. You can find all of our training opportunities on our website at livingafield.com. I would appreciate you taking a moment and emailing me your feedback on this video to videos@livingafield.com. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful day.